Claressa Shields is out here wilding on the timeline, accusing every single content creator, media outlet, and podcast host of being on a secret payroll just to bring her down with the absolute BS. Like, hold on, wait a minute, are we actually supposed to believe that there is a massive coordinated corporate conspiracy set up by Todd and Most Valuable Promotions just to make her look bad? Or is she just running headfirst into the next play of her ultimate victim playbook because the colorism tactics didn't work, the bullying tactics didn't work, and the internet is flat out refusing to buy what she's selling? Hey there, it's Celebrity Future, where we spill the tea anonymously and dissect the absolute madness dominating your feed. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing day today, sending nothing but good vibes, new positivity and protection energy to each and every single one of you. Now, before we dive straight into the absolute meat and potatoes of this drama, let's get some quick housekeeping items out of the way. Anything said in this video is strictly alleged, for entertainment purposes only, and represents my own personal opinion. The Copyright Act of 1976 is safely tucked down in the description box, so none of this is personal. It's just the internet doing what the internet does best. But seriously, you guys, you need to grab your popcorn for this one because the level of delusion we are witnessing right now is reaching historic, unprecedented heights. Claressa took herself straight to the Twitter actual to claim that people are spending real marketing dollars. Yes, actual cold hard cash just to tear down her reputation. She's dropping laughing emojis, claiming that God said return to sender, and acting like the entire media landscape is having a top secret group meeting every morning to plot her downfall. Is it a paid press smear campaign? Or is it just the natural consequences of rolling up to a high-profile corporate VIP event and hauling off to slap Alicia Baumgardner surrounded by security? Let's unpack the absolute chaos because the streets are talking, the receipts are dropping, and the web of lies is finally starting to unravel. Claressa Shields is out here really trying to convince the entire world that she is the target of some multi-million-dollar corporate hit job. She wants us to believe that media entities, independent commentators, and random people on Twitter are all getting wired secret funds just to speak on her name. It is honestly the funniest thing on the internet right now because it shows exactly how far someone will go to avoid looking in the mirror. When you look at the reality of the situation, the math is just not matching. The idea that a whole community of independent thinkers would need to be paid a single dime to point out obvious messy behavior is completely wild. Let us actually look at what started this entire downward spiral in the first place. This is not about a corporate conspiracy, and this is certainly not about people randomly deciding to pick on her for no reason. This all goes back to her showing up at a high-profile corporate VIP event, a place filled with executives, bigwigs, corporate sponsors, and professional employees, and deciding to completely lose her cool. She literally hauled off and slapped Alicia Baumgardner at her own place of work. And the most embarrassing part of it all is how it actually went down. She did not do it when they were standing face to face alone. She waited until Alicia was surrounded by a massive wall of security to swing on her, and then she immediately ran to the internet to brag about it. That is the exact moment the entire script flipped on her, and she realized the masses were not going to cheer for her. When you act out in public at a professional event, you cannot expect people to sit back and applaud. But instead of saying she messed up, instead of showing an ounce of accountability, she immediately pulled out the ultimate victim playbook. First, she tried to use the colorism angle to shield herself from the backlash. When people pointed out that she has a long, documented history of attacking other black women on the internet, that tactic completely blew up in her face. Once the bullying did not work and the internet refused to paint this as a one-sided attack on her, she had to invent a brand new narrative. That brings us directly to her infamous Twitter rant, where she claimed that people are spending real marketing dollars to tear her down. She actually sat there typing out tweets with laughing emojis, claiming that paid press is not working and that it only exposes everyone's hand. It is pure delusion at its finest. I am here to tell you right now that no company, no media outlet, no celebrity, and no reality star has ever paid anyone a dime to talk about her. Nobody is sitting in a secret war room plotting against her. People are just using their eyes and ears. If you do something messy in public, people are going to call it out. That is just how the internet rocks, and no amount of deflecting is going to change that. What makes this even crazier is that the clip she leaked to try and justify her actions actually made her look so much worse. She dropped a video of the argument, claiming she was provoked, but the actual footage just showed them screaming at each other over a married man. She was literally on camera yelling about keeping her relationship out of people's mouths, completely ignoring the fact that the man in question has been married for multiple years and flat out refuses to get a divorce from his actual wife. The real person she needs to be furious with is the man she is dealing with, but instead of holding him accountable, she decides to take all that aggression out on another woman at a corporate function. The immediate fallout from that slap has been an absolute disaster for her career, and that is why she is panicking on the timeline. The CEO of Most Valuable Promotions already came out and made it crystal clear that she is officially banned from all of their events. And to make it even more embarrassing, it was revealed that she had the absolute audacity to text the executives right after the incident, trying to act like she was grateful for the clout and the opportunity to be in the room. She thought she was untouchable, but instead she got herself completely locked out of the biggest rooms in the industry. Since she got banned from the major platforms, she has been forced to run to independent wrestling gigs just to stay relevant. The only reason she even got booked there was because someone else got injured, and they needed a last-minute stand-in to fill the spot. She is out here doing random side quests for temporary clout, while her actual boxing career is completely stalling out. People on Twitter are literally telling her to put down the pipe, stop making excuses, and get back into fighting shape because nobody is talking about her skills inside the ring anymore. All anyone talks about now is the non-stop, chaotic drama she creates outside of it. The streets are saying that the financial pressure is really starting to get to her, and that is the real reason behind these wild conspiracy theories. Everyone remembers how she was bragging about her massive $8 million deal, and her $3 million signing bonus with Win Records and Salida Promotions. She thought she was moving on to bigger and better things, but the grass is clearly not greener on the other side. Allegedly, she was texting the co-owners of Most Valuable Promotions all the way up until the Shadasia Green fight, which was way after her match with Franchon Cruz Dezern. Why would someone with a massive multi-million-dollar deal be texting her old promoters, unless that alleged bag is not spinning the way she claimed it would? The reality is that Win Records and Salida Promotions simply do not have the corporate infrastructure or the major television network backing to keep her at the top. They do not have major broadcast deals with networks like Netflix or ESPN. That is exactly why she was seen all over social media tagging Most Valuable Promotions and tagging Netflix, desperately trying to insert herself back into the conversation. She realized too late that she burned the most important bridge in her career over a messy situation, and now she is trapped on a smaller platform with nowhere to go. Instead of just admitting that she made a massive financial and professional mistake, she has to blame an invisible boogeyman. She has to pretend that the only reason people are criticizing her lack of television exposure is because they are on a secret payroll. It is a classic deflection technique, used by people who cannot handle the natural consequences of their own actions. She ruined her own momentum, she alienated the biggest promoters in the boxing world, and she did it all over a situation that had absolutely nothing to do with sports. The narrative is completely falling apart because independent commentators do not need an incentive to talk about a train wreck. When a high-profile athlete acts completely wild at a corporate event and then starts tagging major networks for attention, it becomes public entertainment. She continues to post about it day after day, which proves just how deeply bothered she really is by the public reaction. If she was truly secure in her bag and her career, she would be in the gym training instead of arguing with random accounts on Twitter. This entire situation is completely self-inflicted, but she is trapped in a loop of toxic justification. As long as she has a small circle of enablers feeding into her nonsense, she is never going to understand the difference between right and wrong. She will always feel entirely justified in her aggressive behavior, and she will always believe that the entire world is running a coordinated campaign against her. But the public is completely tired of the victim act, and the receipts that are starting to surface behind the scenes are about to make things a whole lot worse for her. The behind-the-scenes reality of this entire corporate meltdown is starting to look way more organized and sinister than anyone ever expected. The word on the street is that several secret documents and leaked communications are floating around the industry right now, showing a completely different side to this paid press narrative. According to highly placed anonymous sources within the sports entertainment industry, there are actual digital paper trails that hint at a massive financial operation happening right under our noses. This is not just a case of random people sharing their opinions on Twitter anymore. We are talking about a highly sophisticated, deeply funded corporate apparatus designed to control public perception and systematically dismantle anyone who steps out of line. Information is leaking out about a series of private, high-level meetings that allegedly took place in luxury hotel suites just days after the infamous corporate event SLAP. These meetings did not just include basic staff. We are talking about top-tier executives, major brand sponsors, and mainstream media managers who allegedly gathered to discuss how to permanently shift the public narrative. The rumors suggest that a massive financial fund was established specifically to distribute resources to specific high-profile media outlets and major urban gossip blogs. The goal was simple: to ensure that certain narratives remained dominant, while completely erasing any alternative perspective from the public view. When you look at the sheer volume of coordinated coverage across major media platforms, it becomes incredibly difficult to believe this is all just a coincidence. Major networks, radio shows, and independent cultural platforms all started dropping the exact same talking points at the exact same time. Anonymous whistleblowers from within some of these media organizations are quietly whispering that specific directives were handed down from upper management. Writers and on-air personalities were allegedly instructed to heavily focus on the negative aspects of the situation, while completely ignoring the underlying corporate politics at play. It is being described as a total media blackout on any facts that might validate the claims of a coordinated corporate hit job. The details regarding the alleged financial payouts are absolutely mind-boggling when you realize how deep the corruption actually runs. Sources claim that specific media entities are receiving monthly retaining fees masked as standard marketing agreements and corporate promotional partnerships. These funds are allegedly being routed through third-party advertising agencies to keep the source completely invisible to the public and the legal authorities. This explains why certain platforms will completely ignore massive scandals involving corporate-friendly individuals, but will instantly dedicate days of non-stop coverage to a single public mistake made by an independent athlete. To make matters even more intense, there are whispers about a leaked email chain that allegedly connects several prominent media figures directly to a corporate strategy group. This strategy group is reportedly funded by a rival promotional entity that has a massive financial interest in seeing its competition completely destroyed. The emails allegedly contain specific instructions on how to use sensitive social issues, such as colorism and public safety, to weaponize the audience against a targeted individual. By framing the entire controversy around these highly emotional topics, the corporate puppet masters are able to completely distract the public from the massive financial power struggle happening behind the scenes. The level of abuse of power being described by industry insiders is absolutely legendary. It is alleged that major sports executives are actively using their massive leverage to threaten independent creators and smaller media outlets who refuse to participate in the smear campaign. Creators are reportedly receiving shadow bans, copyright strikes, and direct threats of legal action if they dare to question the mainstream narrative. This creates an environment of absolute fear where everyone is forced to repeat the exact same script just to protect their livelihood and keep their platforms alive. The narrative is being artificially forced upon the public through sheer corporate intimidation and financial dominance. The public reaction to these brewing leaks has been a mix of absolute shock and deep skepticism. While a massive portion of the audience is still fully consumed by the surface-level drama, a growing number of independent thinkers are starting to smell a rat. People are noticing the unnatural uniformity in how the story is being reported across completely different media landscapes. Comment sections are starting to fill up with users pointing out that the punishment seems completely disproportionate to the actual event, especially when compared to how major corporations protect male athletes who commit far worse offenses in their private lives. The hypocrisy of the entire corporate structure is what is truly driving the public outrage, as more of these hidden details come to light. People are openly questioning why major media networks will happily profit off the aggressive, raw imagery of combat sports inside the arena, but will instantly act completely shocked and morally outraged when that same aggression spills over into a corporate lobby. The double standard is glaringly obvious to anyone who is paying close attention. It is becoming increasingly clear that the moral outrage being displayed by these corporate entities is entirely manufactured to protect their mainstream advertising dollars and keep their corporate investors happy. There is also a massive conversation happening about the role of major urban media platforms that claim to represent the culture, but are allegedly taking corporate payouts behind closed doors. Fans are expressing deep disappointment in platforms that used to be seen as independent voices for the community, but now look like nothing more than corporate mouthpieces. The sentiment on the streets is shifting rapidly as people realize that their favorite commentators might actually be reading off a paid script designed to destroy an independent figure who refused to play by the industry rules. The financial breakdown of these alleged media contracts suggests that hundreds of thousands of dollars are being funneled into targeted social media campaigns. This includes the use of organized bot networks designed to flood comment sections with negative feedback and amplify specific hashtags to create a false sense of public consensus. Independent data analysts have reportedly flagged an unusual spike in automated account activity on several threads discussing the controversy, indicating that a substantial amount of money is being spent to keep the public anger alive and well. As these investigative findings continue to circulate through the underground media networks, the pressure on the true mastermind behind the operation is reaching a boiling point. The industry is quietly bracing itself for the potential exposure of a massive network of corruption that could completely rock the foundations of sports entertainment. The individuals who thought they could completely control the narrative through financial bullying are starting to realize that the truth has a very messy way of leaking out when people are pushed too far into a corner. The entire system of media manipulation is starting to show massive cracks because you cannot force a lie onto millions of people forever without someone eventually breaking the silence. The whistleblowers are getting louder, the independent platforms are refusing to be intimidated, and the digital receipts are slowly being compiled into a mountain of undeniable evidence. The story is rapidly transforming from a simple public altercation between two rivals into a massive, full-blown exposure of corporate corruption, media manipulation, and high-level financial warfare that is about to change the entire industry forever. The immediate fallout from these explosive corporate leaks is creating an absolute nightmare for the legal and financial teams behind this entire operation. We are hearing from multiple reliable sources that a major federal sports entertainment probe is quietly being organized to investigate the financial routing of these alleged media payouts. Regulatory bodies are reportedly looking into the tax filings and advertising contracts of several major urban gossip platforms to see if these standard marketing agreements were actually used to disguise illegal corporate hit jobs. If federal investigators find that corporate funds were intentionally used to run a deceptive and uncompetitive smear campaign across state lines, the legal consequences will be absolutely catastrophic for everyone involved. The panic in the executive boardrooms is completely real right now as top-tier managers realize they might be facing massive financial crises and intense public accountability. Several high-level executives at major promotional companies are reportedly consulting with criminal defense attorneys because their names are directly tied to those leaked email chains. There are frantic whispers going around the industry that at least 3 prominent media executives are preparing to announce sudden, unexpected resignations within the next few days to protect themselves from the upcoming legal storm. These individuals are desperately trying to frame their departures as a desire to pursue personal projects, but everyone in the industry knows they are jumping ship before the official subpoenas hit the fan. The financial damage is already starting to hit the major corporate sponsors who foolishly aligned themselves with this manufactured media campaign. Major global brands that provide millions of dollars in annual funding for these sports promotions are reportedly frozen with fear over the potential public relations backlash. 2 massive corporate sponsors have already paused their upcoming advertising campaigns and are actively reviewing their morality clauses to see how quickly they can legally terminate their partnerships. The stock prices for the parent companies involved in this controversy have already shown a noticeable dip, and financial analysts are warning that a full-blown investor revolt is brewing if these corruption leaks are officially validated in a court of law. To make things even more complicated, the official boxing commissions are now under intense public pressure to launch an independent investigation into how these promotional companies handle athlete bans. Activists and independent sports lawyers are pointing out that major corporations cannot just arbitrarily destroy an athlete's career and livelihood based on a manufactured media narrative, while completely ignoring their own internal guidelines. There is a massive movement growing behind the scenes to demand a complete audit of the disciplinary actions taken by these promotions. People want to see the actual documentation and the specific legal framework that allows a corporate entity to ban an independent fighter while protecting other individuals who have committed far more serious offenses. The mainstream media outlets that allegedly took these secret corporate payouts are also entering a state of complete damage control. Production teams at several prominent radio shows and digital platforms are reportedly having emergency meetings to figure out how to scrub their previous coverage without looking completely guilty. On-air personalities who were leading the charge against independent creators are suddenly changing their tunes on the air, trying to sound more neutral and objective because they know their private communications might be leaked next. The level of anxiety in these studios is at an all-time high because their entire brand credibility and multi-million-dollar distribution deals are completely on the line. The independent creators who were previously threatened and shadow banned for questioning the official narrative are now banding together to take massive legal action of their own. A coalition of digital commentators and independent journalists is reportedly preparing a massive class action lawsuit against the major promotions and their third-party advertising agencies. The lawsuit is expected to allege antitrust violations, tortious interference, and a coordinated effort to suppress free speech and destroy independent digital businesses through corporate intimidation. This legal counteroffensive is going to completely force these massive corporations to open up their private servers and reveal every single email, text message, and financial transaction related to this controversy. The massive public backlash is rapidly moving from social media threads into real-world action, as fans are actively organizing boycotts of upcoming pay-per-view events. Online petitions demanding the immediate reinstatement of banned athletes and a full independent investigation into corporate media corruption have already gathered hundreds of thousands of signatures within a matter of hours. Fans are openly declaring that they will refuse to spend their hard-earned money on events managed by promotions that use underhanded financial tactics to manipulate public perception and control the sport. The financial leverage is completely shifting back into the hands of the audience, and the corporate executives are completely powerless to stop it. The underground digital networks are currently flooded with tech-savvy investigators who are systematically tracking down the origins of the automated bot networks that were used to amplify the negative hashtags. Preliminary data reports indicate that the digital infrastructure used to run the smear campaign can be traced back to a shell company registered in an offshore tax haven. This shell company is allegedly funded by the exact same venture capital firm that holds a majority stake in the rival promotional entity. The digital footprint is completely undeniable, and it is only a matter of time before the complete technical breakdown is published for the entire world to see. The intense pressure from this unfolding disaster is creating massive friction between the promotional companies and their legal teams. Lawyers are reportedly telling executives that they cannot win a prolonged legal battle if these leaked documents are authentic, and are strongly advising them to settle out of court before the discovery phase begins. However, a settlement would require these massive corporate entities to publicly admit to their corrupt practices, which would instantly destroy their corporate reputation and lead to billions of dollars in lost brand value. They are completely trapped in a legal corner with absolutely no good options left. The narrative of control that these massive corporations spent decades building is completely shattering into a million pieces. They truly believe that with enough money, corporate connections, and media power, they could completely erase any individual who refused to bow down to their authority. They never expected that a dedicated community of independent thinkers and whistleblowers would have the courage to stand up, connect the dots, and expose the massive rot at the center of the system. The matrix of media manipulation is completely breaking down, and the industry will never be able to go back to the way it was before. The countdown has officially begun for the ultimate corporate unmasking, and the entire sports entertainment world is watching with bated breath. The subpoenas are being drafted, the whistleblowers are preparing to testify under oath, and the financial records are being laid bare for the world to see. The individuals who thought they could play God with people's lives and careers through hidden bank accounts and secret meetings are about to learn a brutal lesson about the power of the truth. The corporate empire is crumbling from the inside out, and the final explosion is going to completely reshape the landscape of modern media and professional sports forever. The matrix of corporate media control is completely shattering right before our eyes, and there is absolutely no turning back from this point. If these leaks are 100% accurate, we are witnessing the biggest, most calculated industry takedown in the history of modern sports entertainment. But now, I want to hear exactly what you guys think about this absolute madness down in the comments below. Do you think these massive promotional entities and paid media networks are finally going to face real legal accountability, or will they find a way to sweep this entire multi-million-dollar corruption scandal right under the rug? Are you standing on business and boycotting the upcoming pay-per-view events? Or are you just waiting to see whose head rolls first when the official federal subpoenas drop? Make sure you do me the absolute biggest favor right now and completely hype this video by hitting that like button until it breaks. Share this content everywhere to expose the corporate puppet masters, and do not forget to comment and subscribe to Celebrity Future. Turn on that notification bell, so you never miss a single second of these deep dive investigative truths. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay safe, stay vigilant, and I will talk to you all again very soon.